Hello and welcome to this crochet tutorial on how to read graphs and make a scarf for this cool winter that's upon us. In this video I'm going to show you how to take this graph. I found it on Pinterest, and show you the symbols and how they apply to the graph and how to read the graph using the arrows. Come join me in learning how to make this sample piece so you can continue on and make it as a scarf for yourself or as a gift for this holiday season. At the end, I will show you a bonus on how to add pom-poms or tassels at the end. The materials that we're going to use to make this scarf, I have some variegated green, and as you can see it has silver woven into it. I got this at AC Moore. They do sell a lot of crafts and an excellent source of yarn. I have a counter from Clover, a size 10.5 or a K, which is actually a 6.5 millimeter hook, and a pair of scissors for the end of the video. Here is the chart that we will be following. You'll notice that it has numbers on it. Those are what is called the rows, and then after the numbers stop and the next row starts, that's where our repeat begins. You'll also notice that down here there is no numbers to follow, because this is what I call the preparation row, so that you can get started to start row 1, row 2, row 3, and row 4. So in this case, this is a 4-row repeat. If you need to stop your video, screenshot it, and then print it out on your printer to help you follow along as we do this tutorial, I encourage you to do that. You'll also notice here that I put down the crochet symbols. On this graph, you'll notice that there's circles. That means a chain stitch. As you can see right here, there's quite a lot of circles on this graph. Let me use my crochet hook to show you a little bit better. The second one we have is this one that looks like a T with a line slash in the middle. That is for our double crochet. Right here you see the T with the little line slash. That is for our double crochet. The next one we have is like a T. That is for a half double crochet. And we do have some half double crochets. If you go down here to the bottom where our preparation row is, you'll see that we have that half double crochet right there. Our next symbol is a plus sign. This is for single crochet stitches. Now you'll notice that we have the little plus sign in between our little chains and our double crochet, and here is the plus sign. That is for where our single crochet will go into this chain 1 between these two half double crochets. The last symbol that we have is a T with the 2 lines coming through it. This is for a treble crochet. So you'll notice that the treble crochet in our graph here is mostly used right here on the end so that we can raise it up higher. On the other side of our graph, you'll notice that there's a chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. that takes place of that treble. So to balance it out, we need just the treble stitch on one side and the chain on the other. So review your chart a little bit so that you can understand the symbols. Go ahead and pause your video, and if you can, go back and screenshot. Let's see. Right there, go ahead and screenshot that, and then you can go ahead and print it out, or you can stop the video right there and we can start. We're going to be starting right here at this area here. You'll notice that the multiples are of 6, and if it's your first row, you want to add 3 for when you go up to make that first half double crochet. Okay, so let's go ahead and get out our yarn and our hook, and let's start our pattern. Now, before we start any project, I always encourage you, or I would like to encourage you, to pull a bunch of yarn out from your skein first. I usually choose to pull from the center, and sometimes when you pull on that, it has a little tension behind it. So in order for us to have good, equal, and even tension, you want to remove it from the skein. So go ahead and pull some out, and let's get started. So first we're going to start with a slip knot. You want to wrap it around your fingers till you have an X. Take your hook and go under that first part and bring the loop back. Place your finger on that loop on the hook. Take your fingers out of that other loop, pull it tight, and then pull your yarn tight to your hook. Okay, we do have a nice little tail here. The yarn that we have that will be coming from our skein is called the working yarn. So if you hear the reference of working yarn, you'll know what we're talking about. So according to our graph, if you want to count each one of those little circles, those are our chain stitches all the way up to here. We're going to have 24 is right here where this half double crochet is, 25, 26, 27. So we're going to start with a chain of 27. To make a chain, yarn over and pull through. The loop that is on the hook is not the chain. The chain is right here. Okay, so we made 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue on until you have 27 chains. Please pause your video. Okay, so I'm going to bring the graph up a little closer. So right here is the 27th chain. So we want to count back 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th chain we're going to place our half double crochet. So to do that, you don't count this on the hook, you count your completed chains. 1, 2, 3, and there's number 4. Okay, so place your fingers there so you know that that's the stitch you want to go into. And to do a half double crochet, yarn over. I like to pick up 2 loops whenever I do a chain. So bring it through your chain, bring up a loop, yarn over, and through all 3 on that loop. Okay, so here we have what the graph shows it would be like this. Okay, so now the next thing it shows is to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then if you look down here, we're going to skip 3 and half double crochet in the 4th chain after you chain 3. So let's chain 1, 2, 3. Down here on our chain, 1, 2, 3. So in our fourth one, half double crochet. Okay, now this first row is going to be a little cumbersome because that's just the way it is. So take your time. If you need to stop the video as you're doing this, I encourage you to do that. Okay, so our next one is chain 1 and skip 1 chain and then half double crochet in the next. So chain 1. Okay, here's the chain that we're going to skip. So in the next one, half double crochet. So after this one, you'll notice that we're starting a repeat. Chain 3, skip 3, half double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet. Okay? Do you think you can do that for the rest of this row? Go ahead and try, and I'll meet you here at the end when you place 2 half double crochets together in those last 2 chains. How did you do? If you notice that in this row we have 9 half double crochets. So here's my 2, which is right here. I have chain 3, half double crochet, chain 1. Okay, so make sure you have 9 half double crochets across. Remember, the chain 3 back here on our chart is to rise up so you can create that half double crochet. Alright, you ready to move on? Let's get our clickers out. Row 1, we're going to begin now. So for row 1, you'll see that the arrow is pointing this way, and that'll include all of this right here till you get to this plus sign at the end of the row. Alright, so let's focus on this. The first thing is we have our little circle. That is our chain according to our crochet symbols. Oops, our symbols. Okay, so we're going to chain 1 and then we're going to single crochet in the top of that last half double crochet. So we're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Now for this half double crochet, the opening is right here. So in there, make a single crochet. Okay, let's see what it says next. Chain 2 and then 3 double crochets. I'm going to go over those chains. Now if you want to do them individually, that's upon you, but I'm going to go over it to make it easy. So the next thing we're going to do, chain 2, 1, 2, and here's our chain 3 space, 3 double crochets. Now see, I'm going to go under all of those chains. So to make our double crochet, you yarn over, bring up a loop, go through 2, go through 2, yarn over, bring up a loop, go through 2, go through 2. We have 2. Let's do one more. Alright, so we have our single crochet, our chain 2, and our 3 double crochets. Now the next thing it says to do here is chain 2, single crochet on the chain 1 of the previous row, and then chain 2. So chain 2, 1, 2, Here's our single crochet, our chain 1, and 2 chains, 1, 2. Okay, so we can see what it's starting to do here. So this is going to be our repeat across. I encourage you to go to the end of this row. Let me bring it up close in case you want to pause your video. There is row 1. Go ahead and do that, and I'll pause your video. So I hope that this graph that you have read for row 1 has been easy for you. If you noticed, we single crocheted, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, single crochet, all right across. Okay, so here we are. We've completed that last single crochet, as you can see I've done here. Now the next thing we're going to do is chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that'll complete our row so that we can build up to row number 2. So let's chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's turn our work. We'll get out our counter. We're moving on to row number 2. Now as we move on to row number 2, we're going to be reading the graph this direction. You see the arrow is pointing here. That means we will start over here and work our way across. So after our chain 5, the first thing is the half double crochet. It's going to be on top of the last double crochet that we just did. We're going to chain 1, skip the second double crochet, and then half double crochet on the last of that little group. Okay, whoops. So the half double crochet of our 3 stitches will go into this first one right here. So yarn over, go through the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over through all 3. Okay, chain 1, and then into our next or our last double crochet of this little group right here. Alright. Then the next thing it says, chain 3, we're going to skip the chain 2, single crochet, and chain 2. So after our chain 3, we'll do a half double crochet on top of the double crochet of the next 3, chain 1, and half double crochet on the last part of that 3 double crochet. And then you'll see this is where our repeat is. Okay. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're skipping this, and here's our chain 3. Sorry, our 3 double crochets from the previous row. We're going to place a half double crochet in the first one, chain 1, and half double crochet in the last one. Alright, and you can see that our repeat has already started for this row. So continue on to the end of this row, chain 3, half double crochet in the first of the next 3 double crochets, chain 1, and half double crochet in the last of it until you get to the end of the row, and I'll show you how to do the treble crochet into the single crochet at the end of the row. So go ahead and do this little portion right here, and I'll meet you in just a minute. Please pause your video. Right, so at the end here I have stopped at this half double crochet right here. So we're going to chain one and do a treble into that single crochet. So here's my last half double crochet, chain one, and here's our single crochet right here. So to make a treble, place your finger on top of your loop, yarn over 2 times. We're going to go down into our single crochet and draw up a loop. So we should have 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through the last 2. Alright, and this completes row 2. So we're going to get out our little clicker. Let's move it on up to row 3. Now row 3 is going to be read this way. So after our treble, we're going to chain 3, double crochet into the chain 1 space, chain 2, single crochet into the chain 1 space. And you're going to find that what we're going to be doing here is similar to row 1. It's just that it's in a different location, and since the 2 rows are not exactly the same, that's why they call it an odd numbered row, because when it starts to actually repeat exactly again is after row 4. You see this right here. Okay, so let's chain 3, double crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 2, single crochet in the chain 1 space, and chain 2. So let's do that. So let's chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and turn our work. Alright, so here's our chain 1 space between the half double and the treble, double crochet. I go under the chains. I don't go inside of it. It's not a big deal. Chain 2. Now in between these 2 with the chain 1 space, single crochet and chain 2. And this is what we have so far. You might not see the pattern yet, but you will as it gets bigger. So the next thing we'll do is the 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space, chain 2, the single crochet on the chain 1, and chain 2. Go ahead and please pause your video so that you can read the chart as you go this way across. Alright, you'll see that I have gone all the way to the single crochet, which is right here. Oops, let me bring it down closer. So I have stopped right here. We're going to chain 2 and place 2 double crochets into the chain 5 space right here. So here I've already chained 2. So in the chain 5 space, 2 double crochets. Now you'll notice that the ends of and beginnings of each one of these rows for each round is going to be different, and I think that'll help you if you ever set it down or forgot to use your marker. You can still refer back to your graph and say, oh, this is where I left off at. Okay, so this completes row 3. And then we're going to chain 3 and then start going in this direction here. So let's get out our counters and move up to row 4. So let's chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work, And after we chain 3, let me bring it closer, I'm sorry. We're going to do 1 half double crochet in the second double crochet from the end of that last row. So here's our 2 double crochets. Here's number 1 and here's number 2. So we're going to place our half double crochet in that second one. Okay, and then after we do that, let's go up here to row 4 again, chain 3, and we're going to skip the chain 2, the single crochet, the chain 2. We're going to do as we did down here, well, right here in row 2, half double crochet in the first double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet in the third double crochet, and then chain 3, and that'll start our repeat again. So we've done this. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and as we go across, here's our chain 3 group. So half double crochet in that first one, chain 1, skip that double crochet, and half double crochet in the last one. Okay, then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip the single crochet and the 2 chains, and here's our group of 3 again. Let me bring the graph up to you, and I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. We're on row 4. Please pause your video, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. At the end of the row, you'll notice 1 half double crochet goes on top of that double crochet. The last half double crochet goes into the chain 3 space. Okay, so here I've placed my last half double crochet on top of the double crochet. Now here's my chain 3 space. I'm going to place a half double crochet there, and that completes row 4. So this is what we have so far. Let's see if the camera can show it a little bit better. There you go. Once it gets a little bit more longer, as I showed you at the beginning of the video, you'll start to see the pattern emerge. So now that we've completed the 4 rows, take your little counter. Now if you want, you can number your rows 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, however, but I'm going to go back to row 1, so that way I know that I'm going to start doing row 1 again. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see, at the end of row 4, we're chaining 1, just like it shows here, single crochet in that last half double crochet, then chain 2. This is part of row 2, not down here. So don't read the, whoops, I'm sorry. Don't read this part right here. We're going to chain 1, single crochet in the top of that half double crochet, and then repeat what row 1 is. So here's row 1. Pause your video and let's do row 1 again. So here I have single crocheted, chain 2, now 3 double crochet in the chain 3 space, chain 2, single crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 2, and we can move on. I'm going to encourage you to repeat rows 1 through 4, and I will get back with you, and then I'll show you how to make either pom-poms or tassels to go on the bottom, so you can make this as a gift or a scarf for yourself. I hope you've done well in reading this graph. As you can see here, I went a little overboard. I was really getting into it, and of course I was using my little counter, which helped a lot. So let's go ahead and start to make some tassels for this, so that way you can get going on and finishing this and making it into a gift for somebody else. Let me get a piece of cardboard and I'll tell you how big it is and show you how to do it. So I'm going to be making my tassels 6.5 inches long, and the piece of cardboard that I have is 6.5 by 4.5 inches. Go ahead and when you've completed making your scarf, go ahead and get your yarn, and you can take the outside and the center pull, and you can wrap them both at the same time. Let's get our yarn ready, and I'll show you how to make the tassels. To begin making the tassel part, I'm going the long way, and you see I have the 2 strands, and I'm going to wrap. Now, since we're going to be making a few of these, make sure that you count how many times you wrap around to get to the thickness that you desire, and when you cut it at the same place that you started. Okay, so I'm going to cut this right here, and then I'm going to raise up the ends here and go ahead and cut those. For our separate strand, you'll want to cut it probably about 3 times, so figure about 12 to 16 inches. Just go ahead and cut the double strand, and you're going to want to find the center of the strand that you just cut. You notice here mine is about 8 inches long, folded in half. And then you want to find the center of your tassel here. So go ahead and find the center, and we're going to go ahead and tie it right here. Make sure it's in the center. Sometimes even though you find the center, it can move on you just a little bit. There we go. And then tighten up that knot right there. Okay, so we have this part so far. We're going to leave one up here by itself, and we're going to take the second one and wrap it once, wrap it twice, and go back through the first 2 that we started out with, and pull it snug. Now you can have it at any height that you want. If you want it up close, or if you want it further down, you can do that. So once you tighten that good and tight, take one of the strands and go around the tassel, and then on the other side we're going to place a square knot. And with the string that's hanging down, I want to make everybody come to the, well, not the long ones up here, but all of this coming down. I want to make them all about the same length. And then take the tassel end and we can attach it right up here. Place a square knot, taking one, going in, place a little square knot on it, and then you can bring it down and wrap it around. And do the square knot as well. Oops, I forgot to go under. I made a mistake, didn't I? Okay, let's undo that knot. Okay, we want to go under what we wrapped around. So that way you don't have to really weave in any loose ends. Okay. And then take that one end and wrap it around. I know this is a little different than what other people do, but it gives it a little personal charm, I guess. There we go. You can continue to make as many as you like. And here we have our little tassel slash pom-pom hanging off the ends. I suggest that you put it in the chain 1 spaces here. So you would make a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'd like to tell you thank you for watching, and I hope that you do enjoy making this. It does go very quickly. I hope you had an opportunity to understand and read the graph. If you do have any questions, I'd love to see it in the comments. I hope you like this video and maybe share it with your friends. Hopefully they might be interested in learning how to do this graph as well and make a scarf for their friends or for themselves. So until the next time that we meet, I hope you enjoy your holiday season. Thank you for joining me, and happy crocheting. Bye-bye.